Welcome to our webcast. I'm Sentinel editor Bill Wilson. Today we're talking with US Representative Joe Donnelly, a Democrat who has twice won election to the House. He represents Indiana's 2nd Congressional District, of which Fulton County is the crown jewel. Congressman, your positions on a number of issues, abortion, stem cell research, gun ownership, the border wall, drilling in the Arctic Preserve, are fairly conservative. Does that make you a blue dog Democrat? And if so, what is a blue dog Democrat?
I am part of the group called the Blue Dog Democrats in Congress, and what it is a group of Democrats who have come together who share some similar ideas in regards to the issues you discussed. But the primary one we focus upon is the one of fiscal responsibility, so that we don't increase our debt, that we pay the debt down, that we put ourselves in a good financial position for this country for the future, so that when we hand it off to our children and grandchildren, this country is in better shape than what we were given.
How tight is the group? How big is it?
It's 52 members. There are a number of other members who have asked to become part of the Blue Dog group, but what we try to do in order to maintain the ability to actually be a group as opposed to just the whole caucus is to restrict ourselves to approximately 20% of the caucus. So we have 52 members, and they come from all different parts of the country.
Is health care a basic human right? And if so, does it follow that it should be treated as a utility like highways, police protection, or waterworks?
Health care is a human right, and it's a human right in this way, that we try to make sure that there is medical care for every person who needs it. But then the question becomes, what is the best way to do it? In our country, it's been a different delivery system. The healthcare reform discussion that we have going right now is, how can we best provide health care? How can health care be available to most Americans at an affordable cost and in the best way possible? And so we've developed a system over the decades in this country, and this healthcare discussion is not so much whether reform needs to be done. I think from everybody you talk to, reform clearly needs to happen. The question is how much and what, and that's what we're working on.
Healthcare reform legislation started out at something like 1,000 pages or more.
It's 1,028 pages. That's one of the bills.
Have you read that sucker?
There are 5 total bills. Okay, there are 3 in the House, 2 in the Senate. At some future point, whatever becomes legislation would be put together. I've read almost all of the primary version, which is H.R. 3200. That's the one that's been discussed the most. And I said I would work to have that completely read by Labor Day. But what everyone has to understand is that that will not be what we vote on anyhow. That's just a version that one of the many committees in the House has put forward. And so that will not be the legislation that eventually gets voted on. If there's a vote, we have to also match up what we do with the United States Senate. So the good part about this whole healthcare discussion is that we were able to come home for a month to hear what everybody had to say. In Rochester this Saturday at 10 a.m. I'll have, I think it's my 7th or 8th town hall meeting. And that has given me the chance to be able to talk to everybody and hear what folks back home think.
What are your thoughts on the government option for health insurance?
That's also called at times the public option. And my biggest concern is not so much what is the exact vehicle, but providing health care. And so some folks have focused on we have to have the public option. My focus has been we have to improve health care. If we can do it through a co-op, that would be terrific. If we can do it by moving the ball on 4 or 5 different steps, that would be great too. If it's through a public option that winds up providing more health care for more people, that our private system still continues to flourish, that people who have health care can keep their health care, that it doesn't increase the deficit and actually reduces the deficit as one of the bills in the Senate offers, that's what we're trying to accomplish.
So you're not opposed to the public option?
I'm not